Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cardistrytalk. This is episode 47, and today I am joined by Pablo Frey. You may know him from his Instagram, Pablo Frey, as well as Misprint, his deck coming out here hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Super excited to have Pablo here today. Pablo, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for actually inviting me.
But yeah, super happy to have you here, especially with everything you got going on. I think what people would like to hear about and what you have going on the most right now is Misprints. So I'm just interested kind of how that deck kind of got designed and what was the inspiration behind the deck that's on the Kickstarter right now.
People know me as like a card designer or like card renders photography guy, but in reality, like I used to way back in the day paint a lot. Like I consider myself like a multi-platform artist because I like to do a lot of art, like the whole thing. Like I do music. Well, I don't sing because I'm not good at singing, but I do beats. I do beats. I paint. I tried sculpting. It's not my thing, but I tried it. I draw. And I do like everything. If you think about something that it's artsy, I do it or I tried it at one point. So the design itself came from a photography I took in a place in Mexico called El Molino de las Flores. It's basically a really beautiful place. Like it looks really old, like almost movie-like old. But it has a lot of gardens full of like blossoms, I think that they're called, like beautiful pink flowers and like dandelions. Like if you think about a flower, they have it, and it's really cool, really beautiful. It was really cool visiting that place. So I was taking photos, and then I found this like set of two flowers. I was actually, if you see the design, there are two flowers, but like the distortion makes it look like one. So I took the photo, and it like 2 or 3 years passed by. I didn't use the photo for anything. Like 2 years passed by, and I was like just browsing Pinterest. I don't know if you use Pinterest or you have seen Pinterest, but they have really cool stuff there. So I was scrolling through Pinterest and I saw like this collage thing where they use a lot of layers and different textures and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, this is really cool. I think that it fits my style because I really love like conceptual art. I'm that guy where if you go to a museum and you see a black square painted with just like a white brush or something, I will stare like, that's really cool. And I'm that guy that if you say that's shit, I will be like, no, you don't understand it. Like, and okay, yeah, it can be shitty, but the thing is that he did it before you. So in that way, it's not as shitty because you were the first one in doing that. So that's really cool. And I was reading about Marcel Duchamp. I don't know if you know him. He's a conceptual artist that literally took a bath stall, I think that they are called, where you pee. A urinal. He took a urinal and he signed it and he took it to an art exposition. Say, yeah, this is art. People were like, why? He said, because I say so. I'm an artist. And if an artist says that something is art, it becomes art. And that was basically like the birth of conceptual art itself. So conceptual art and something called ready-made art, that you basically take something, and because you as an artist said it's art, it becomes art. It's something really trippy and confusing, but that's the art world. It's like really something really confusing. Just like if you're the first of in something, it becomes amazing. Like an example is Jackson Pollock. Like I don't know if you know Jackson Pollock. He's an amazing
I
artist,
know the
American
name.
artist. Yeah, the guy that splatters paint.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's Jackson Pollock. So people say that yeah, he just splatters paint and that's it. Like I could do that. It's like yeah, you could, but he did it like 30 years ago. So and he like put all these emotions in it and stuff like that. So because he was the first one in doing that, it became something amazing. So with Misprint, I tried to do something like that because I saw Dealer's Grip doing Sepal, I think that is pronounced, the flower deck.
Yep.
So I saw it and I saw that the borders weren't like correct. And I thought it was really cool. Like Dealer's Grip is one of my favorite companies because the way they push the boundaries, like they push it in a way that no one else has done it. Uh, like Glisk, for example, is just like literally like another border, and that's it. That's the design. There's nothing else. Everything else is just white and some texture. So that's really cool. It's really bold. It's really artsy. So I say, yeah, you know what? I'm going to do something that no one has ever done in purpose. Make a fucked up deck. Like you know how people meme use PCC, like yeah, the borders are always fucked up and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I'm doing something so misprinted in purpose because I wanted to show like how you can turn something misprinted and bad and like fucked up into something really beautiful that has a deep meaning because of connection of cards. I don't know if the Kickstarter shows it, but you should basically connect the cards by taking two and putting it like this, and you have the design itself. You have one design. So supposedly the cards came like this, but because it's misprinted, it came all fucked up like this. You know, like USPCC fucked it up and stuff like that. So it came up like this. So that's the concept itself. It's like the connection between packets when you are doing cardistry. And yeah, that's basically it. I try to do something to be the first in doing something on purpose. Like I followed the steps of a giant, in this case, Dealer's Grip. So hopefully I replied to your question correctly because I know I went a little bit off topic.
No, you're
You
good.
can see I really love
But
art. So
it's really good to see the inspiration behind everything. I think it's really interesting, especially when you said like making something beautiful out of something like screwed up. I think that's really awesome. And like as soon as you said that, I think that really clicked with me. I think it's a really unique design, really different. I think we have seen like some decks where like the purpose was to kind of make it messed up, but I don't think it was like followed through as thoroughly as you're doing here,
yeah,
where it's like everything, like even the suits, like you have different
yeah,
suits and stuff.
and that's the thing with the suits. I was thinking about how to do the faces because I have a prototype right here. So if you see the prototype, let me just find the card. Everyone told I asked like a bunch of friends, how should I do the faces? And they basically say to do the same concept. But I was like, I don't want the deck to be unusable, like something that you would just show off and that's it. I want people to actually use the deck, like for magic. Will be weird using this deck for magic, but okay, I have done it, so it's possible. But like, I want people to like use the deck for its purpose because it's a deck of cards. You have to use it. So basically, I start doing research, and most playing cards are made in two phases. So when they print it, they print the face or the back, and then they print the other side. So I was like, okay, so let's say USBCC fucked up the back, but now let's say they fucked it up when sending the files. So basically, the faces follow a different pattern. Well, it's actually not a pattern, it's something really random. We took out nodes at random from the files. So you can see like the queen is so weird. This is so weird. Some cards have like odd pips with the colors. So it's something like, okay, I get it. Like they've actually messed up the files too and the back. So I wanted to do something different with the faces and the back. And also coming back to dealer's grip. I don't know if you have any dealer's grip deck, but if you take it, I think that is the 8 of spades or the 6 of spades, something like that. It always comes out sideways. It has one pip sideways. So I found that really cool. And I say, okay, how can I take this far? Like one step farther. Say, okay, like putting a different pip here and then like turning it over and stuff like that, making it the same color when it's supposedly black and stuff like that. So I tried to follow like a theme, but differently with the face. So yeah, that's basically how I came up with all that.
Other things that you kind of have doubt or known for are kind of like your photos and your renders over on your, I don't want to say main account, but your personal account with your name.
Oh yeah.
So what kind of goes into making those renders and those interesting, photos for that account?
Well, I basically just like take a deck for a day. Like let's say right now I'm using Origins by Cardistrytalk. Right. So I'm using this deck. So I see the back, I use it for a day or so. Just try to find ways that I can display the back or like a face or something and make it look different. Because if you see any card ad of any company, even my own company, Misprint, if you see the photos, they are usually like someone grabbing it or like doing a flourish, or like they are just like here and it's like this beautiful angle with lighting and stuff like that. So I say, okay, I don't want to do that anymore because I used to do that. I don't want to do that anymore. And I actually didn't start with doing what I do now. I don't know if you have seen my really old work. I used to take like designs, let's say, all right, give me a second. So let's say I took like one deck of aerodynamics, like this one. And I don't know, back in the day, I would just put like a stick or something in the back, and that's it. And it's basically showing how aerodynamic looks like a sign that you will see in the streets or something like that. So that's what people know me for, like mixing real life stuff with cards. Another famous example I think that people saw is, do you know the orbits? I think that is B6, I think the alien one.
Yeah, V6.
Is B6, yeah. So I took that photo and I was watching Rick and Morty. So I added the portal in the middle and I added Rick and then Morty being scared. Say, yeah, like if you see it in a way, this deck looks like the portal from Rick and Morty. And I posted it, it went like viral with Orbit. He shared it and stuff like that. So I was really known for mixing like real life or like something else with cards. Another example I can think of on the top of my head is Do you remember the Elliot Slavin deck? Marbles, I think that it was called.
Clouded paper.
Clouded paper, yeah. Sorry, Elliot, if you're watching this. He's my homie, but sometimes I forget stuff. So clouded paper, I took it and I added like a brush, because when you see the deck, you can see that it looks like a paintbrush that has been used with like blue paint. So I took it and added like a paintbrush in the back, so the card was in the front. I look like the deck was part of the paintbrush, and I just posted it, and people were like, that's really cool. Another example, I took Patrick Barnabas soundboards, and I added some headphones, because of course the soundboard, you listen music to it and stuff like that. Another one real quick is BCAV1. Yeah, BCAV1. I added the king in the background, taking out the crown. So basically he's stealing a crown and stuff like that. But right now, well, I did that for 1 year, every day, every single day for 1 year. I posted a photo mixing real life or cartoons with playing cards. What happens when you do that? You burn out, you run out of ideas. I think that the last great one I posted was green fontaines with like a tea string. So basically, green tea, green fontaines. So it's like mixing that with. So I burned out. I took like a year off. So I came back and said, I want to do something really colorful, because people knew me for being really colorful. Wanted to do something really colorful, but at the same time easier than what I used to do. So now I basically take like elements from the deck and try to create a background, like a fantasy background, something that is impossible. Well, it's possible, but it's really hard to do in real life. And just basically use the deck as the main focus instead of what's in the background. In a way, something like product photography, like digital product photography. That's what it is.
I think it's like, obviously the older stuff you were on about was, I mean, that's super creative, as well as what you're doing right now with the renders. I don't think many people are creating the type of photos that you are. And I think it all comes back to you being like you said, predominantly an artist before maybe necessarily strictly cards. And I think that kind of shines through with some of those things that you have. Another one that I can remember just off the top of my head was the as is kind of grenade. I always thought that photo was really cool.
Yeah, the 45s being a grenade. Yeah, but that has like a funny like background story, because when I posted it, like I legitimately just like took the 45s and say, okay, what can I fuse this with? Like, okay, a grenade. Why? I don't know. I just think it looks cool. So I posted it, and someone in the comments said, "Oh, I get it. It's a grenade because the World War was in 1945 or something like that." And I was, really? Oh, that okay. Yeah, it was for that. Okay,
then you
sure.
pretend like
Yeah,
you thought that out.
I pretend like I thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's always super funny. When like the people that see an artist kind of like overinterpret what the artist made.
Yeah.
I think Peele, when he was like, he made the movie Get Out, and like some people looked like really deep into like certain aspects of the movie, and he's like, yeah, no, I didn't think about that, even though it does make sense. It's kind of funny how stuff kind of pops up like that.
Yeah.
I think what I want to talk about next is something I kind of talk about with every guest. And that's just talking about making cardistry and like moves. I don't know if that's something you actively try to do, but if you have created moves, or you do create moves, is there any type of process to what you do, or anything that you've noticed repeats itself?
Do you create any moves? Because
I do, yeah, just not
okay, so
as common right now.
this might have happened to you. So you are sitting or you are in the car, like you are doing whatever. You take the cards, you just start like fidgeting, fid, fidgeting,
Yep.
fidgeting, fidgeting with the cards. And they are out of nowhere, you do something really cool. And you're like, but you do it unconsciously. Then you look and say, okay, that was cool. Let me do it again. And you're like, fuck, I can't remember what I did.
Yeah.
And then you start trying to remember what you did. And you're like, okay, so this goes here, this there, doing this, then this. You're like, okay, got it. A new move has been done. And then you just like try to polish that move to make it look good or like to make it make sense. Something I've been doing recently is adding an extra card just because it looks cool. I think I was talking to Aslan Valentine one time, uh, and he just said, "Yeah, if you add one card to any move, it instantly makes it look better." I was like, "Okay, so sounds legit." So let me just take out of that to show it. So basically, like my card was this was my cut, right? And then you close it or something. But then I Aslan said that. So I was like, okay, so if I take it here, do this, then I take a card and spin it. As I spin, then do this and that. Just makes it look more complex and better because this is true. I don't know why people say that it's not true. The more packets or the more cards you have in display, the better it looks. Of course, there are like exceptions, like I don't know, this I think it's Plinko. No,
Pincho.
Pincho. Yeah, Plinko is the one-handed gun. Yeah, so Pincho is a one packet of flourish. There are exceptions like that, or like backdrop, or ATM, or wrench. There are exceptions, but like if you see these really cool displays, example Blockbuster, like it's just even Kevin said it, like it's impossible to do it like as a flourish, but it looks cool. Or like the worm. The worm is a really easy move, but it looks really cool because it has a lot of packets and cards. Um, I know Aslan does this like really weird things or looks really cool because why? Because it has a lot of packets and cards. Forward demos, like same thing. Looks really cool because it has like a lot of packets and cards spinning and all this. But now if you do a Charlier, just a 2-packet cut, doesn't look as cool. Now you do a Revolution, kind of mid, just because you're adding motion. But now you do I know Kryptonite. I don't know how to do Kryptonite, but imagine I'm doing Kryptonite.
Yeah.
Looks better because you are adding more packets and more motion and more stuff. That's basically like what I do when I create a move. I try to use like add more motion, more packets, and if, for example, this is a 4-packet cut, but I add motion and I add like all these layers and stuff to make it look like more complex. I think that that's something I learned from Sam Wheeler. I don't know if you know who Sam Wheeler is. He has this really simple cut, like legitly, like he has one where you only do this, then you do that, then you close it. And when you see it in motion, it looks really complex. Looks like you are doing, I don't know, a bow tie, or like you're doing a Lacoste or something like that. Really complex cut, but it's something really simple. But he adds motion in his hands, and he adds layers. So that's something I keep in mind when doing a cut. Like if I want to add like a lot of cards, for example, this kind of looks cool because it's a lot of cards. With stuff like that, the more the better in a way. But of course, the simpler, the better, because it's easier. So yeah, I just fidget around with cards. Sometimes I do try to do something in purpose. For example, back in the day, like I'm talking like years ago, Frankie Morales did this competition. You know Frankie,
Yeah.
creator of Saturn, alleged scammer. Not alleged, he did scam, but okay. Yeah, but okay. He did this contest of doing a card with a weird grip. So I say, yeah, I'm gonna do a forge with the deck holding like this. So I just tried to create something with a deck like that, and I came up with like something like this. It's really old card, like maybe 5 years old. So yeah, basically, if you put your mind into it, you can create something, even if it's shitty. Like everyone has created like this horrendous cut that they think is good, but then you create something better, and you're okay. Yeah, the last one was shitty.
And then the last kind of topic that I want to go over and talk about is the paperless podcast. Obviously, I'm very interested in it because of I have my own podcast that I'm running in kind of the same kind of space, and you guys do it quite differently, where you have multiple people, usually more than one or two. So, kind of, how did paperless come to being, and how has kind of the experience been with being a part of that group?
Yeah, paperless actually was a magazine to begin with. I don't know if you have seen any of the issues that we only have two, but like whatever. So at the beginning, I wanted to do something that has never been done. Again, me wanting to be unique. So I saw this old magazine. Well, it's not that old. It's called Packet. I don't know if you have heard about it. Packet magazine, something like that. Cardistry magazine. I don't think they do issues anymore, but they used to do it back in the day. But it was more of a cardistry focused magazine. And I said, okay, that's really cool. I want to do something like that. So I just asked all my friends, are you down to do like a tutorial or like an interview or something just for the magazine, for a magazine I'm working on? I was like, yeah, sure, cool. So I just threw together this one magazine. The first version of the first issue was awful. Like it has a lot of grammar mistakes. In the day of launch, like Lorenzo Cobo from Paperwave sent me a DM and he said, yeah, looks bad. And I was like, okay, how can I fix it? And he said, yeah, you have to fix this and this and this. So the day of launch, like already like 200 people have seen it. I was like, okay, it's kind of pointless, but okay. So I fixed it. I fixed a couple of things. Just basically mostly grammar mistakes and mispronunciations. So I fixed it, and surprisingly, it was a success. Like 300 people got it. It was for free, but like 300 people is really amazing, really surprising in the community itself. And surprisingly, everyone was co-signing it. Like, if you think about a company, they were sharing it, except Fontaine. Fontaine is his own thing. SAG is doing his own thing. So really, I think that is the hardest thing in the world to get a co-sign from SAG. Okay. But like Mano Santa, Biz, I think they even Joker and Thief, everyone was sharing it. Like, yo, check this out, magazine, stuff like that. So then I tried. I really tried. Like me and my group of friends, my team, uh, tried to do it something weekly. Impossible.
Mm-hmm.
They would try to do something monthly. Possible, but too time consuming, as everyone was studying at the time. So then I was like, okay, let's do like a couple of magazines a year. Yeah, a year. But we didn't do it. uh, then stuff like the need review start coming out, and like Biz started to do like his own magazine and all this. So thinking back about it now, would have been cool, like to keep doing a magazine, but it's really time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is the most time consuming thing I have ever done. Like I was legitimately working on like a single set of pages for weeks. Um, but yeah, then like time passed by, and I see the riots in the U.S., the Black Lives Matter
Mm-hmm.
problem there. So I say, yeah, I want to support that because part of my family, like I might not look like it, but I'm biracial. So part of my family is black. So part of my family being black, I'm like, okay, I want to support this because this is something I actually care about.
Mm-hmm.
Also, my mom does a lot of charity work, and it's something she has like taught me, like helping other people that can't do certain things or need help. Because I know I'm fortunate enough to being born in a wealthy family. It's not like everyone can say, yeah, I want to be a card artist for a living. Like no, you have to study, you have to have a job that actually pays your bills. I know that I'm fortunate enough to be in this position, so I really try to help people any way I can. Like sometimes even my stories in my main account, I just post like, yeah, if you need help and I can help in any way, let me know and stuff like that. If you want to talk about someone about any struggles you're passing by, let me know. I've been there. I know how it's to have like mental issues and stuff like that, mental struggles too. Um, so yeah, I wanted to support that cause. So I asked my friends again, hey, can you do another article? All profits, all profits. I'm not taking shit. We'll go to charity. I will put my own money. I will work for free for the company itself, just to give everything to charity. Excuse me. I just ate, so excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I asked some of my friends, can you do a tutorial? Because I wanted this to be paid. And people do not like to pay for shit.
Mm-hmm.
They do not like to pay. Like it's so hard to sell something to people nowadays. So I just tried to put all this content so they were willing to pay. So I asked Kevin, I asked Adam Sharp, I asked Caitlin, I asked a bunch of my friends, Biz, if they can donate a move or a trick or something. So they did. I think that the download has like 6 or 5 moves. That is even 7, I think. I'm not sure. Or 8. I'm really not sure. But it has a lot of moves. And it only costs $2. And like in the first week, I think we donated over $100, 150. And I know it's not much, but I doubled. Well, I not doubled. I like put some extra money from my own pocket, and
Mhm.
my family supported and stuff like that. So we ended up donating like 250 or $300. But when you think about it, it's a magazine that costs $2. So how many people like supported this? It's amazing.
Mhm.
So I was really happy with that, like seeing people in the community donating and buying, and even some stores, like instead of paying $2, they paid like 20, and like some paid like 50 and stuff like that. So it like a lot of people bought it, and that I was really happy to see that, because like they are basically donating to a charity. That was really cool to see and to work. So now the magazine is a charity only. So whenever someone needs help, or like there is a great cause or something and we can help, I will just put another issue out. Like issue 3 will come when, I don't know, someone needs to raise money for a charity or something like that, because it's a lot of work that goes into it. And like imagine putting all this work for nothing. It's really pointless. So at least if it's for a charity, money is going to a good cause. uh, but then we were just really bored, you know, young people young people being bored. I might not look young, but I'm young. I'm 22. I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure I'm 22. I'm really bad at keeping track with stuff.
Me too. I know. I get what you're saying.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm 22. So I just told my friends, my team, uh, yo, what if we do a podcast? Like, I mean, sure, I'm down. So the first um, host were a guy called Brian Frescas from a former store called Boom Boom Butt Cheeks. I
Mhm.
don't know if you ever saw that store.
I never got to see it, but I've heard about it a lot, or from a lot of
Yeah,
people.
he he was such a nice guy, bro. He went broke because of how nice he was. Like he bought, like, let's say Fontaine released a deck, a guess B1, right? Cost 25. He paid 25 plus shipping, and he sold the deck for 25, 25 or 26. So he didn't even make profit.
Mhm.
But he was like, yeah, my point is not to make profit, but to let people enjoy the decks, you know, like allow a second chance to people. I think Sokol, Henry, started his store because of Brian. That's how like deep in the community Brian was.
Yeah.
But you know, not making profit at all comes with struggles. So he couldn't keep up with the store, unfortunately. Now he has a real job, so he can be part of the of the podcast anymore. Um, then Aldo, I think that he he finished college, so he's working now, so he doesn't have time for cards and stuff like that. So he left the podcast. And right now, my current host are two guys. Called one is called Adrian Ernest. He's Puerto Rican, really funny guy, really nice. Actually, no, he's really mean, but he's cool.
Mhm.
And another guy, called Curtis Lee. He said that he's our Asian token. He's
Mhm.
really chill, really nice guy. He helps me with everything. Like he's been helping me with Misprint a lot. So I just asked them, "Yo, do you want to bring the paperless podcast back?" They were sure, it's fine. So I just started at the beginning. Like we tried everything. We tried doing news, we tried doing reviews, We tried like just interviewing someone one-on-one. It didn't work for us. Like I know it works for you, but for us, it didn't feel right. It was kind of boring for us.
Mm-hmm.
So then I just said, you know what? I'm gonna ask one of my friends if they want to come in, chat about anything, like whatever. And we filmed the first episode. It was awkward as fuck. We didn't have anything prepared. Like we didn't have any questions, anything. So the first episodes were a pain to edit because there was a lot of dead air, like just us being like this, like so a lot of dead air. And it was like, okay, fuck, that's awkward. So then I just asked Curtis, hey, can you prepare some questions, stuff like that? Because I'm legitimately not editing anything anymore. And if we want to keep doing this, we have to, to prepare.
Mm-hmm.
So we prepared. And now like you can see the latest few episodes are really like chill. There's barely any editing. I just like modified the audio to make it sound good.
Mm-hmm.
There's barely any other thing. It's really chill. I'm really grateful for everyone that has accepted an interview because I contacted people that I have never talked to, or like I'll have talked to them like once, and
Mm-hmm.
that's it. And it's really surprising how they say yes. I really easily. Like, I don't know if this has happened to you. That you say, okay, I want this guy. He might say no, but let's try it. Then you ask him, and he says, yeah, sure. Like, when can you do it? You're like, fuck. That's how easy this is. Like, I just have to ask.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I don't know if that has happened to you, but it's really. I think that happened to me with DK
Magician. Yeah.
Yeah, DK Magician. He's really big. He follows me, but like that doesn't ensure me that he will say yeah. So I just message him, and he said, "Yeah, sure. I'm free tomorrow." I asked the guys, "Hey, are you free tomorrow?" And they say no. I was like, "This fucking guys, like, bro, we got him, and you're saying no and stuff like that." So I just say, David, like, yeah, yo, can you do it another day? Ghosted. I think he was mad or something because I think he had something that day prepared and he didn't do it because I asked him to do the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he got kind of mad. Well, I would have been mad too, but yes, bro, this podcast thing is wild. That's only why. That's why we only do like audio only because we do a lot of weird shit. I legit, we do a lot of weird shit. We say a lot of weird stuff, like stuff that is borderline racist if someone that wasn't the race said it. Like I say a lot of shit about Mexicans, but of course I'm Mexican. I talk shit about myself.
Mm-hmm.
So, but just think about how someone else said the stuff that I said will be controversial as fuck, just because they are not Mexicans. And thinking about it, it's like, yeah, it's really weird. I'm glad we are only doing audio.
Mm-hmm.
Because imagine if we did video, it will be like, and no safe for work or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully though, next season 3, we're doing video. Yeah, we just need to get a better recording cameras and all that stuff. Yeah, we're trying to do like if you flash you lose or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Will be really interesting.
Pablo, what I usually do at the end of the show is I do what I call roll out the close-up pad. And that's just my way of saying, is there anything that you would like to promote or any last nugget you would like to leave the audience with?
I want to promote something. Like, of course, Misprint. Let me just pull out the deck real quick. The deck, not the D, the deck. Mm-hmm. It might sound confusing because of the accent. It's a deck of cards. Yeah. So for anyone interested in this deck, really pretty deck, conceptual deck for Cardistry. It's available now, hopefully. Still available when this comes out in Kickstarter. It's called Misprint OO Flower Edition. The OO because it's the beginning of a series. So this is basically the prototype of the decks. Yeah, and one piece of like knowledge I can share is you lose 100% of the chances you don't take. So if there is any chance of anything regarding anything like a work, a relationship, anything, take it. You might don't like it at first, but then you're like, okay, whatever. I tried it at least. Take it, because if you don't do it, you will regret not taking it. Yes, that's basically it.
Some awesome words. Definitely check out Misprint if you are interested in that deck. Like always, I'll have links to Pablo's accounts on Instagram and whatnot in the description below if you're on YouTube here. So definitely check that out. This was really fun. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Hopefully learned a little bit of something. Pablo, thanks again for being here. And
thank you for having me.
We'll see you guys later. It's been a pleasure.
Bye.